Yes, fellow Brazilians, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Chairman Patrick, I hope you are there. You have listened to Comrade Chris himself, body and soul. As some thought he will not appear because of the rumors that he had been detained. Um, we are going to take a look at what Comrade Chris has said. I know you listen, but we'll try to break it down further so we can understand exactly what he said. I think, Chairman Patrick, if you are there, let me know if you're there, please. Chairman Patrick, are you there? Okay.
Yes, Comrade Mike, I'm here.
All right. And some of the main points that I noted when Comrade Chris was speaking include the following. He talked about his recent absence and gave reasons for the absence, which were well understood. I think some of us already knew that, but there are many out there who did not know why he was absent, especially including the passing of his mother about 2 weeks ago. Comrade Chris also stated that he will not be intimidated despite these trials and tribulations. His heart is in the struggle and he's standing strong, and these trials and tribulations will not deter him from the struggle for the liberation of the southern Cameroon and Sambazonia. Of course, he also stated that the so-called elections in La Republic of Cameroon do not mean anything to us Ambazonians, that we don't have anything to gain from it. Even La Republic of Cameroon citizens themselves don't don't have there's nothing in the so-called election even for them, not to talk of Ambazonians. So he also warned us to beware of La Republic of Cameroon's lies and manipulations over the years. They always come during the time of elections to make promises which they know very well are not to be kept. They know very well that these promises will not be kept, but they keep doing the same over and over and over. I mean, if there's any ambassador out there who will still allow himself or herself to be deceived by all these lies, then they say then you are grateful because they say, fool me once, shame on you. But if you fool me the second time, it is shame on me because I ought to be wise enough to know who you are the second time you try to fool me. So he also stated that La Republic of Cameroon is at a point of implosion, that anything can happen in that country right now. Anything can happen. And that Amazonians who are uh, hiding in within the territory of La Republic of Cameroon should be prepared to they should have their go backs packed and ready for when chaos breaks out. They should be able to get out of there as soon as possible. So that is a warning to those who are hiding within the territory of La Republic of Cameroon. We should be prepared for what may happen in the days ahead. It's very uncertain. Now, he also talked about the education of our children, that we are not against the education of our children, but we are against the kind of education that seeks to indoctrinate our children, seeks to misinform them, and seeks to distort our history and disrespect our own linguistic and cultural values. That is what we are against. We want education that will help to mold the minds of our children the way they should be molded, based on facts and the reality of our history, not the kind of history that we've been taught in the past. Now, he also talked about the transition that's happening within the interim government, that when he came in, he promised that he was only going to serve one term of 3 years, and he is bent on making sure that that promise is kept. He will not extend his term, despite the fact that some have called for him to stay on. He said he made a promise to Ambazonians not to serve more than one term, unlike some of our comrades who come in and they hang on, and despite the fact that uh, even when the time comes for them to present themselves to Ambazonians to at least evaluate their performance, and to determine whether or not they should continue to serve as their leader, they simply will not even present themselves for such an examination. And it's a shame for us doing that when we are complaining that La Republic Cameroon is doing the same. So, a lot of Comrade Chris is setting an example how a leader can serve and step aside when the time is right. And you keep your promise. When you make a promise, keep it. And he is doing exactly that. So it is something to be emulated. It's something to be appreciated. That it is like a breath of fresh air, where we've had a number of sit-tight leaders who just will not step aside, despite the fact that the organizations under their control are falling apart and there are internal squabbles, mainly because of their leadership style that does not allow for others to serve as well. So it's a good example to serve, to set. Um, he also stated that by leaving the office of the president does not mean that he's leaving the struggle. Far from it. He will continue to serve, but just not within that same office. He will allow someone else to come in and serve while he will continue to serve ambassadors in other in another capacity. As we well know that he's a good communicator, he will continue to do that. So those are some of the points that are jotted during Tom Chris's speech. Chairman Patrick, why don't we start with the first one? Of course, um, the troubles that he's had recently that caused him to be absent for a while. You very well know some of these things where the enemy uses all kinds of tools and all kinds of paid agents to try to intimidate us out here, and even not to talk about people back home, into giving up on this struggle. What's your take on that?
Yes, Chairman Mike, one of the things that you can see in Comrade Chris is the fact that even with all what he's gone through in this revolution, he has stood firm to his conviction that he's going to fight to the end of this struggle. If you look at his absence for the past few months, we all know, we've seen it. If
Mhm.
you were sitting there, your brother is no more, your mom is no more, your wife is no more, your dad is not more, and you are there fighting for people that some of them are still on the ground, who are acting like their brains are not working, still
Mhm.
hoping that after 42 years, the CPDM that they call it will one day come and do something positive for you. What happened for 42 years that they could not do it? And they are going to come do it in 2025 or 26. Whatever people are thinking is something that is unimaginable. But I will congratulate Comrade Chris for what he's done, for his steadfast in what he has stood for this revolution. You've seen it. Every time we come up with leaders in this struggle, they think they are coming to start becoming president and they don't want to leave. Every country that is progressing is the only is only progressing because minds are changing, personalities are changing, ideas, policies, all of this is changing that is making the country progress. If you are stagnant with the same leader, the same policies, the same tactics that they use, you are not going anywhere. We can all see this. I'll even take a clear example. We have our neighbors, Nigeria. Nigeria, as much as they are voting incompetent leaders in their country, just the mere
Yeah.
fact that they are changing from one person to the other is making Nigeria even think and reflect that, okay, something has to change. Even if it's
Mhm.
one thing, that gives a big, that makes a big difference. But if we can sit here, people, even in our own struggle that we're trying to fight, people became leaders. They know. They even come and promise people and say, "I would if you give me this amount of money, we'll get to Boya, and if it doesn't happen, I'm going to step down." And that did not happen. You say, "Oh no, I'm not stepping down." What message did you give your own people who were
Uh,
supporting you? You are already
Chairman,
telling people that.
Chairman Patrick, not to cut you there, I just want us to shine a light on the example of Nigeria that you've quoted there. There are quite a few things there that have helped Nigeria to advance despite the level of corruption that still exists in that country. And one of the things you mentioned is the plurality of leadership, where you have at least every 2 terms a new leader comes on. It helps them because there are new ideas that come in. Those are new. Each person comes with his own. Some are good, some are bad, but because of that mixture, it helps them to move forward. One other thing that has helped Nigeria to advance is the federal structure of their government, the decentralized nature of their government, where governors are elected within the state. They are not appointed like in La Republic of Cameroon. Because in La Republic of Cameroon, everything is centralized. In Nigeria, governors are elected. So they're accountable to their people, you see. So it makes it possible for these governors now to go out and satisfy the promises that they make to the electorate, and the electorate can hold them accountable. Look at the case of La Republic of Cameroon. They have promised year in, year in, year out, just do what is called decentralization. Decentralization. They have never done it. That is what is happening in Nigeria advance because of their federal structure of government, where the states are independent to manage their own resources. In La Republic of Cameroon, they will not allow it because they want everything sent to Yaoundé so they can take everything and squander it. And that is what we're asking fellow ambassadors. For how much more longer can we endure this? We cannot continue to endure this. It is time for us to let them be because even as we speak, there are no genuine efforts to even decentralize that damn country. There's just nothing happening there to give hope to anyone that things will improve. That is why we must be determined to sever any ties with La Republic of Cameroon. I just wanted to add to that point the example you gave there, which our people should really understand why Nigeria is advancing and La Republic of Cameroon is not, because of these two things: plurality of leadership, the federal structure of government. Please continue.
Yeah, so that is just a clear picture of what we're even talking about. Because if you go to a country like La Republic that we're talking about, what is going to motivate the leader to institute any policies that will even give him any positive image in that country when they know they don't have anybody to compete with? They don't have any reason to institute anything that is going to be favoring the people because they have the elections, they have the electors, they have the constitutional council, and everything that is going to make sure they stay in power. And it's unfortunate because if you look at the population of southern Cameroonians, even sons and daughters of La Republic that have left that country within the past 9 years, it's amazing. Where
It
are
is.
they
It is.
gone? If you look at, they have decided the few sons and daughters of the ministers, the few sons and daughters of the governors and all that, they've taken the few jobs that are there. The guys are not there because they are competent enough. They are just there. Just to piggyback on something, a few months ago, I saw an appointment of Paul Biya's daughter at the Ministry of Tourism. And I asked myself, this is the crackhead who was out there smoking weed, and people are still sitting there just signing papers for her to
And
go
we,
be
we hear,
at the
hear she's
ministry.
a lesbian too. Yes, she's a lesbian. And
That
we
is
see
her
her.
choice. But if you
Yeah.
look at what kind of mentality do we have, do you think she's going to do anything in an office that is going to add value to that country? Well, if her dad could not even add value to the country, what else do you expect from the daughter? We say in the village, a, a kola nut cannot fall far away from the tree. So, what is going on in that country is just these children who grew up in the homes of ministers, their cousins, their uncles, they have never seen the difference between the reality and suffering, but they have lived this luxurious life. They think we don't have anything to do. The country is just going to grow. It's on autopilot. That is why the country is regressing every day because they all do not know the difference. How many of these children have ever been on any road going to a village where the car is tied in the mud
Chairman
for
Party,
hours?
Chairman Party, what are you talking about? Look at those in high office and see where their children are. They are the ones where somebody is a minister, the child is probably serving as a DO somewhere, they are a director somewhere. The level of cronyism in that country is appalling. They're not even hiding it anymore. You remember of recent when we talked when there was the talk about Sonara being transferred to Kribi. And John Gute came to Victoria and said, "Oh no, why are people saying this? Sonara is not going anywhere." And yet, his son is the one in charge of managing the project of the of constructing the Kribi Sonara that has been transferred there. John Gute's son is the one responsible. And then they send him to come and lie to our people and make these fake promises about Sonara being not going anywhere, and that Sonara is going to be reconstructed. After how many years when Sonara was burnt down, that they will come and reconstruct it now. And it's the same John Gute who has come several times and promised that the Victoria Deep Sea Port will be constructed. At one time, he said his Papa Paul Biya himself was going to supervise it. Till this day, nothing was done. Nothing has been done. They'll come and talk about, Tico Airport, roads, in Victoria. We saw a road recently in Victoria that was recently supposedly paved. And it rained one time and the thing got washed away. It's just terrible. It's just terrible. The things that are happening in that country, when they explain to someone who is outside of that country, you think maybe someone is making it up. So that is why we are telling Ambazonians, please do not allow yourselves to be deceived. It doesn't matter if the person trying to deceive you is a chief. It doesn't matter if the person trying to deceive you is a fawn. These people have lost all credibility. They have lost all royalty. You cannot listen to them and believe them because they are speaking with their stomachs. They are speaking with their stomach. You saw them prostrating in front of Ngongo, a common criminal. Ngongo, a thief. They went there and were bound down to him carrying Paul Biya's image. And funds, for that matter, that are not supposed to touch anything like that with their hands. They went and made a fool of themselves down there. So don't listen to their lies. They will not take you anywhere. They're just trying to placate you, to deceive you, so you go out and take part in their so-called elections. As soon as that thing is over, you open your mouth again, guess what? They will beat you up and throw you in jail and ask you to make that noise again. They'll send their brutal military and they will even kill you. And who's going to ask them why? So please
Yeah,
do not allow yourself to be deceived. Don't take whether it's beer or it's salt, whatever they're giving you. One thing that our people don't understand is the value of their vote. When somebody comes to you and gives you something that you will eat or drink or whatever, something that will not stay in you for the next 2 3 days, and you give them your vote, and that because you've given them your vote, you suffer for the next 5 or 7 years. In the case of a president, you suffer for 7 years because you took something and ate. How foolish is that? Instead of insisting on choosing someone whom you know will give you a better future, will give you the means to earn your own living, instead of depending on handouts from someone else. How stupid is that? Don't allow yourselves to be corrupted into taking part in this nonsense called an election. It's not an election. Where is the candidate Paul Biya? That is the question we should be asking every day. Let Paul Biya come out and present himself to the electorate. We need to see Paul Biya. Where is he? Where is he hiding? Or why are they hiding him? Because Paul Biya doesn't even know where he is. Somebody is keeping him like a dog in a cage now. They don't want him to come out because when each time he comes out, he shows how mentally disoriented he is. The man is not there. Probably is pretty much mentally dead. He cannot serve a nation, and they continue to pretend that he is running for president. If he's running for president, I challenge Pobia. Come out and make a tour of the various regions in your country. If you can come out and make a tour, let people see you walking around and shaking hands and greeting your people. Make a tour of the regions in your country. I would personally encourage people to go out and vote for you. But let Paul Biya come out and present himself. We want to see Paul Biya. Where is he? You know, there's a song, Chairman Patrick. There's a song where people die and say, we are looking for, where is he? We are looking for this person. So I'm singing the song here. We are looking for, where is he? Oh, we are looking for, where is he? Oh, we are looking for, where is he? We are looking for Paul Biya. Where is he? Oh, bring Paul Biya. Bring him. We need to see him. We need to see him. Let him come out and walk and talk and greet and show himself as a vibrant candidate for president. That's what we need to see. Chairman Patrick.
This is like an advice. If the so-called opposition in Cameroon are listening, they should all agree that they want to have two debates between now and the elections, so that all the candidates will be invited to come to the stage and debate. That is how they can challenge this authority in Yaoundé to come out with whoever they are hiding underground. Because if they do that, first, second debate, all the candidates go there and Pobia is not there, we know there's no candidate. The CPJ is voting for a ghost. So if they are listening, let them come up and say, we want to have two debates. All the candidates are invited on this day and on this day. But when you look at what is going on in that country, it just makes you laugh. Because 2-3 months before elections in that country, every 7 years, that is when you see all the so-called elite in their villages.
Mm-hmm.
That is when you see all the caterpillars that were brought in somewhere at the corner of one street. You will hear of how many contracts have been awarded to this village, to that village, to this village. These contracts, they all disappear maybe like a week before the election because nobody even listening to that again. And after the election, you don't even see the caterpillars anymore.
So and they make sure that no meaningful work is done during that time.
Oh yeah, they don't. They don't. I'll tell you some of these things. You listen to the prime minister. Sometimes I feel bad because the prime minister, he acts like one of these child that the father has beaten you so bad, and then they give you a bucket to go carry water. You don't have a choice, but you are going to go carry that water and bring it back to the house. The prime minister goes to Boya or whoever he was, say, oh, they are not building a refinery anywhere. And a week later or 3 days later, the minister is in Kribi cutting the ribbon for the refinery. And today is coming out that your son, how did your son get the contract? When did he know he was supposed to be tendering for a contract to build a refinery in La Republic? How can these people be this gullible? The prime minister, does he even have a conscience to sit back and say, why would I put myself in this position?
One thing you have to note is that these people, I don't know if they think people don't have brains or what. First of all, someone like John Guti, like you said, I think I feel very sorry for that guy. I don't know how he goes home and maintains order in his own household. I don't know how his wife can respect him when you go out and you prostrate yourself, because John Guti is not in the room when decisions are being made. He is not there. He is called in like an errand boy when the decision has been made, and he's given a message to say, okay, you go and tell your people this, you go and tell your people that. He is not one of the decision makers in that country. He just has no powers. That office of prime minister is just an empty office. I think his secretary has more authority than himself. Now, let me talk about this so-called opposition that we are talking about in La Republic. If we had a serious opposition in that country, They will not be gunning to go for elections at this time. They would have fought to make sure that the rules of the game, first of all, are well outlined, that their protections are in place to make sure that the votes that will be cast, if they are in the majority, that the votes will actually matter. You cannot, someone cannot call you and say, let's play a game of football, or what Americans call soccer, and then you see that your opponent has a referee as a brother. Huh? Your opponent, the son is a linesman. And not to talk of that, uh, he has arranged it such that your own goalpost, your own goalpost, your own goalpost is so wide. Huh? Your own goalpost is very wide. Meanwhile, his own goalpost, he has narrowed it so small that you cannot get the ball through. And then you see all these conditions that are stacked against you and in favor of him. And then he says, "Come and let's play ball." And you are there jogging, saying, I want to take part in such a game." You are a fool to go into such a field of play when you see everything start against you. How can the opposition expect to win when the president of their constitutional council or whatever is someone that Pobia appointed? There's Elekam. Who appoints Elekam? Who chooses the members of Elekam? Is it not Pobia? Then you expect these people to rule against him? You expect Paul Atanganji, who gets up one day and simply changes the rules as he wants. You expect Paul Atanganji to sit there and see Paul Biya as a minister of territorial administration and watch Paul Biya lose an election? Is that what these people who call themselves opposition leaders, is that what they're expecting? What if I had the means of asking them a question? My question to them is it: show me your path to victory. You, as an opposition leader, show me your path to victory. How do you intend to from a candidate to become the president of La Republic of Cameroon? Show me the path what gives you the confidence that you can win under these conditions. Chairman Patrick, go ahead, please.
Yes, actually, what you're asking is the same direction that these people should be having. Unfortunately, Pobia, who will not be shown anywhere, even on video, will end up with 90% of the vote. And people like OC and the rest, they will have maybe 2%, 3%, but they are out there running. The reality here is that country is broken, and they do not even have the architect that can rebuild and set the mechanism that a country can be functioning as a nation that has a vision for its people. These guys are thinking about themselves and about what they want to do in their own little territory. And it's unfortunate because our people who have been begging for years are still taking themselves from their local areas to travel to Yaoundé to go keep begging. If I beg you for something 14, 15 years behind and you don't give it to me, why do I think you're going to give it to me today? It makes me wonder what is in the minds of Cameroonians. What is really wrong with these people? Cameroon is not just a central and west and south province. This is a whole country. This is a country with almost 30 million people. How can a dead man, a ghost, be ruling and being able to keep you guys under bondage for this long and nobody's speaking? Nobody's doing anything about it. One thing that has happened in every country in the world is the people's voice. If you guys want to do anything, you all have to come together, figure out a way to make sure your vote count. If not, don't keep wasting your time. First of all, those who are going to go out there to vote, if you do not make sure your vote is counted, first of all, the only part of it is I saw Camto brought in one of those challenge that they wanted to see the electoral vote, the list of electors. The Constitutional Council did throw it away. They did not listen to Camto because if they come out and they say there are 40 or 10 million people have voted opposition, they are going to say the list of electors were over maybe 50 million. They might, in Cameroon, it's possible to give a number of people that voted to be above the population of the country. It's possible. They can do that. So nobody should waste their time that election is going to change Cameroon. I wish these cronies who are in Yaoundé should be learning or finding a way, an area where they're going to be hiding, because it would be shameful for people like Ngongo to be dragged on the street one day in that country. Because if you don't see like you have drowned, you've destroyed a nation, and you still think you're going to have power in that country for this long, behold, my man, you need to think twice. It is not possible. There is always an end. There is always an end to every resulting action. Yeah, so those are some of the things that are really making me to wonder how much education can you give a people that are suffering? How can you be suffering and you choose to go at your suffering knowing that there is something you can do to change it? If somebody goes out there, pick up a ballot paper with CPDM on it and go cast it, then you do not care about your own self. You don't care about your country. Every single family in Cameroon, Amazonia, or La Republique, they have children out of the country. Do you think all these children really love being out of the country? What is wrong with your own country that you cannot do something about it to fix it? It's just like you have your home. Instead of you making sure your home is livable and there's rain falling on your roof, but every day when rain is falling, you run to your neighbor's house and sit there, and you don't do anything to find a way to repair your own roof. So, my fellow Cameroonians or fellow Amazonians, this is a moment. We might have seen a lot of killing in our territory. We might have seen a drawback in so many of the activities, but this is our moment. We're going to take the challenge. We're going to take the bull by the horn. We are going to win this fight. We're going to win this revolution. There is no way we can give up or we can slow down when we know it's better for us to stay together and suffer than to live with an oppressor.
All right. I think the studio says I'm good, Chairman Patrick. Can you hear me now? All right.
Yes,
The
I can
studio
hear
says,
you now.
all right. So we're good. As I was saying, Ambazonians should not buy into the charade happening in La Republic of Cameroon.
Yes, I can hear you
Uh,
now.
yeah, I think there's an echo there now. I don't know why.
No,
I think
I
that should.
was I was trying to connect with my phone. I got you
Oh,
now.
okay. All right. Okay. So they should not buy into the nonsense. I think we have just maybe about what 15 more minutes to round up here. Let's try to round up here. Chairman Patrick, one other thing Comrade Chris talked about was an appeal to our brothers and sisters who are sacrificing themselves as soldiers or police or whatever in La Republic of Cameroon. And many of them have lost their lives in this senseless war with Ambazonia. And he's calling on them to see the reason to get out of there now because God forbid, if the Northerners, as they are threatening, will start coming down again, and then they will be caught like in the middle, and it will not be good for them. So this is a time for them to get out while they can, and come home and let's defend and take back our own territory than die for people who don't even value your lives. They don't even see you as equals. So what are you doing there? It's time for them to get out. What do you have to say to our brothers out there?
So, Comrade, before I even say anything, if you look at the chat room, somebody just wrote that La Republique just dismissed about 12 of their soldiers, and four out of these 12 were all of the English
Mhm.
speaking region. So this is a
Yes.
moment. They are scared. They are
Mhm.
shaking to the core.
Yes.
But if any of these soldiers, you know, you are doing the right thing and they are kicking you out, you know what to do.
Yes.
We are
Uh, yes, I think maybe Chairman Patrick is frozen again. As we were saying, if they are beginning to kick soldiers out, is maybe they are beginning to see signs that there's disgruntlement within the ranks of of their soldiers. Some don't like what they are seeing. They don't like the fact that they are being used as sacrificial lambs. They come to Ambazonia, they get blown to pieces. I don't even know what compensation their families get. As you were saying, continue with your point there. I took over just to make sure you came back.
Yes, what I'm saying is those who have been dismissed, they know what to do. They have been trained like soldiers. They have the mentality. They want to see change in that country. They did not
Mhm.
dismiss them just because they're for fun. It's because they have seen something in them that they do not like. They might not be
Yeah.
towing the line of what they're expecting from the cronies in Yaoundé. So if you have been dismissed, you know who to contact, you know where to go. But I will tell
Mhm.
you that country is at a breaking point. And any Amazonian who is sitting there not reflecting on what my plan is, I know the
Mhm.
interim government is sitting back and planning on what we are going to give our people, the message and the directives, because
Mhm.
we cannot let Amazonia become a jungle justice when La Republic falls. We are going to
Yes.
coordinate this, set up a plan on how we're going to govern ourselves going forward. And this is not just going to be governing ourselves. When we close our borders, we are not closing our borders just for fun. There will be whatever, I'm not going to say it here, but what is going to be
No.
sitting at that border will be something that the Republic will never believe they will ever try to enter our territory or to think that they are going to come try to talk to us. The moment, the time that we were begging to negotiate La Republic, the time might be over.
Those
We
days
do
are
not
over.
need any negotiation from La
Those
Republic.
days are over.
Those
Yes.
days are
I
over.
think they have a lot to do within them, within their own territory too, because even within the ranks of even their own very CPDM, they are not in complete agreement as to what to do. They are not in complete agreement as to who should lead. So while they are struggling to sort that out, we will be busy trying to fortify ourselves and to do what we must do. I think the last thing we have to talk about, Chairman Patrick, is the example that Comrade Chris is setting by stepping aside as a leader of the interim government as compared to others who have chosen to sit tight year in, year out, year in, year out, low levels of productivity, but they just will not accommodate the idea that as a leader, when you make a promise to serve for a period of time, when that time comes, you step aside and allow for someone else to come in and do and give their own best as well. But he is the first person, the very first person to set that example. What do you have to say about it? Isn't it something good for the interim government?
This is just exactly what the interim government should have been demonstrating to show the international community and to show us that if we gain our country, when we gain our country, we are going to have leaders that will respect the law, say what they will do, and they will do it. We are not going to
Mhm.
try to get people in there who want to sit tight and start changing the constitution to suit their narrative. This
Mhm.
is an example that every Amazonian, it doesn't matter what position you hold, there is one thing, there is always dignity, dignity in honesty. You cannot think, if I'm the leader, I'm the richest person, you are dignified. No. When you are an honest person, the rest of the world will hate you. But you are going to be honest and say what it is. And you might be a poor person, but you are speaking the truth and you will die one day with peace in your mind because you know you did not cause tears in somebody's eyes. So,
Mhm.
what Comrade Chris has done is an example of what Amazonia should have done if we had started and Siseko did not start a new government, and Sako did not create another interim government, or Marianta did not do what she did, we would have been moving as smooth as possible. But with all
Yes.
that they have maintained, I don't think in the Amazonian constitution it was stated anywhere that if you have been president, you cannot be president again. They could have taken their chance and become
Mhm.
president when the moment comes. But they decided it's time for me to stay there, and whatever happens, I do not care. I'm going to sit tight here and call
As
myself president.
as in the case of Sako, he says he's a leader to Boya. So the question I asked was, okay, what if it takes 30 years for us to get to Boya? So we must have to endure, and that means you are just not very different from Paul Biya then, who has been
I'm
there
sure
for
he has a son. He has a son that
yeah.
will take over.
I'll take over. So, well, that is it's rather tragic. Chairman Patrick, it was a pleasure having you on today. Uh, um, I think the message that Comrade Chris has given should reassure Ambazonians that he is doing well, and not only that he is doing well, but the interim government is doing well. We are in a period of a transition, but nothing is going to change. We are steadfast, determined to continue forging ahead until Ambazonia is free. I'll just give you a few seconds to make your closing remarks, and we'll call it a day, and we'll pick up next time.
So that is one of the few things that I will say here is Comrade Chris stepping down as the president of the Ambazonian struggle is not stepping out of the struggle. This will give him more flexibility to
Mhm.
interact, to do more positive things for the revolution. We know what he's gone through. We know what he has endured personally, externally, internally, in every aspect. And what he has done to now, by the end of September, we'll know who will be leading the interim government going forward. And we are calling on
Mhm.
every Ambazonian, wherever you are. This is a moment for all of us. We have said this. We cannot be spectators when the moment comes in La Republic. We should be creating an atmosphere. Talk to some of us who are sitting back every day, strategizing in meetings on what should be done when that moment comes. We cannot sit here and start saying, we should have. No,
Mhm.
failing to plan is planning to fail. That is exactly
Mhm.
what I would say. Failing to plan is planning to fail. Thank you, Comrade Mike, and let's have a good day.
Okay, thank you, Chairman Patrick. Again, it was a pleasure having you and fellow Brazilians. Again, know that ABS is back. It's not a one-time thing. ABS is back, and we will be coming to you on a weekly basis as we've done in the past, and bringing you programs that will cover current and enduring issues affecting our struggle, and especially vis-a-vis the implosion of La Republic as we see it, or the charrette of consolidation. But most especially, we'll focus on what is going to help us liberate ourselves from 60 plus years of annexation. So I want to thank you for tuning in today. Please share the word. I know a lot of you did not know that we were coming on today, but share the word. Let people know that ABS is back. ABS is back. Ground Zero has been yearning. We've got many calls asking when we'll be coming back. We are here now. It was a pleasure having you today. You take this message we've given here today and share it. Most especially, please do not allow yourselves to be caught taking part in anything that has to do with elections conducted by La Republic of Cameroon within our territory. Please do not be caught taking part in any campaigning, the distribution of materials, propaganda related to elections, none of that. Not to talk of coming out to vote. Please do not eh, allow yourselves to be caught in any of those activities. We are not La Republic of Cameroon citizens. They don't have any authority to come into Ambazonia and conduct any elections. And our freedom fighters will be all out there on the lookout for those who will violate these rules. They will be implementing this rule, making sure that our territorial integrity is maintained, that nobody comes into to insult us by conducting a so-called election in our territory. So please be mindful of your own safety, first. Do not expose yourselves because you've been given a bottle of beer or whatever to go and risk your lives for no reason. There's nothing that anybody can give you that will be worth it. So take note of it. Do not be caught taking part in that charade. Any promises they give you are all lies. Nothing will be fulfilled. You already know that. You already know that. I'm not the one telling you. They have made promise over promise over promise. None of them have ever been kept. None of them. And they are not going to do it this time. First of all, they are presenting a so-called candidate that has not been seen. Like I've said, where is Paul Biya? We have to keep asking every time we come out. We want to see Paul Biya out there in his country campaigning for votes, not in Abyssinia. Let him concentrate there. We don't care what happens there, but let him do it over there. But he should at least come out and present himself to his people. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to say bravo again to our brave warriors on the ground who are defending our territory. The land of Abyssinia is yours. It is your right to fight and to take it and control it and manage its resources. With that, I say take good care of yourselves and each other. And with that, ABS for today is out. Good night.